et d'anniversaire. Nourrissons notre foi en Dieu avec les services de prière et de culte. Suivons l'histoire du Congo et les documentaires des Congolais. Soyons connectés sur les actualités des filles et des fils du pays partout dans le monde. Découvrons des émissions de qualité, partageons notre savoir. Nous sommes à votre disposition pour vos émissions directes de notre studio, dans vos studios, dans vos églises ou même dans vos maisons. Appelez-nous, contactez-nous sur WhatsApp. Boss Brothers TV, tout le monde en parle.
Once again, thank you for joining us on this Monday on the Young Queen Talk Show. Those who joined us last time, thank you very much. Today, I'm actually really excited about today. I have a guest. Obviously, I have a guest with me today. She's actually someone that we know. She's Congolese. She's quite known in our community, very stylish young girl. She's out there as a tailor, if I may say. She's there as a designer as well. She launched a website recently. She was recruiting for models to take pictures in her outfits. She's got so much things that she's doing. She's joining us today, and she's actually currently running on a pageant show. Like, I don't know how she goes about doing it. So let's please welcome PEMBE. Hello.
Hello, Mayele.
How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you.
Can you please introduce us? I know you, right? Introduce yourself to the viewers. Let them get to know who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay, so my name is PEMBE KUMBI. I'm also a fashion designer, as you probably have heard in the introduction. And today I'm actually very honored to be on your show.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you here. I actually feel very privileged because I'm wearing one of her necklaces, her items here, and later on throughout the show she might actually show us how to do a head wrap. So today I came with my natural afro hair so she can do a little head wrap of my hair. But moving on, we want to know how you started. What happened? Why fashion? Why did you want to be a designer?
Oh wow, this goes way back actually in college. So I started off doing art and design, and then in my last year of college, I actually had a parents' evening. Yeah. So I went with my mom, and then my teacher was like, "Oh, Pembe is doing very well in her studies, so we actually think that she'd be great in doing art and stuff like that." When we went home, my mom was like, "Art is really good, but how are you going to make money out of that?" And most artists, unfortunately, get famous after death, unfortunately. And she was like, "Why don't you just do fashion?" And I was like, "Mom, I don't even know how to use a tape measure." So I know. So she was like, "No, don't worry. I'll take you to like a lady, actually an African lady who does African tailoring." And then it was during like the evening that I would go there from like 2 hours, 6 to 8. Mm-hmm. And then she would teach us how to freehand pattern cut and how to measure up and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was the moment that I actually used the sewing machine when it clicked.
For the first time.
And I was just like, no, this is what I want to do. Like, this is so me. And it was from there. I spoke to my teachers back in college, and they were happy to transfer me because art works alongside with fashion as well.
So then you went to the textile department.
Not even textile. There was actually a fashion department. So for my final year in college, I got to sit down with the fashion students and actually get into uni via my second year of college, and actually started off in London College of Fashion, and it's this from there, which is 2012. So it's quite a long time ago, but
2012, I remember that actually.
Yeah.
Since you started doing fashion, what would you say is the most item or product that you've created that you cherish the most?
Oh wow, that's a difficult question. I mean, fashion is very diverse, and it depends also on your personality. Like for me, I like to keep it real, like in the sense that I embrace my background. So I'm all into African design stuff, but I'm quite diverse as well. That's my I would say like my signature style. So I'd like to show African prints here and there, but then what I'm wearing today as well is like, this is from like Scottish inspired,
UK, United Kingdom kind of print, you know.
So yeah, I kind of twist it around, but most of the time you probably see me in my African attire.
Okay. So. And what you're wearing today, or most of your outfits that you tend to wear, you make them yourself?
Yeah.
How long does it take you to make like a skirt, or a day or two, or?
Probably in a day for a skirt. It depends on the design. If it's a complicated design, it'd probably take 2 days or so. And it depends also how my week is like. If it's busy and I have other things to do, it probably take longer, but because I have a passion for it, it just comes naturally. It won't take that long. So yeah.
And the head ties, I've noticed you've always got a head tie. Is it because is it religious, or is it just you love tying your head, or you're going back to the African roots where we always used to have our head tie, the kinetelemi?
It's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I never like always wore or covered my hair. But it was, for those who are Congolese, they probably have heard of the Kimbangis church. So I'm Kimbangis myself, and in our religion we're taught to cover up, like cover your hair and not wear trousers and stuff like that. But then after like getting used to wearing it, I don't see it as a burden or something. I don't see it as, oh, I'm restricted to just be myself. But if you look back into time, you'd see that a lot of African women, or just women in general, Christians or Muslims, the women were seen as, you know, of high standards. Like if you was of high standards, you cover your hair. Even the queen, if you go back into time, you see that the queen most of the time don't ever wear a hat, or they'll wear like beautiful attire on their heads.
African royalty, they always have so many things in Egyptian
it's more about
time.
royalty than it is about just religion. I think it's royalty and religion. I don't know. It could kind of go together, because it's more of a spiritual thing than it's just like, oh, she's covering her hair because she was told to do so. Like, I don't see it as that anymore. And I encourage actually a lot of people to like go down that route. Obviously, I don't judge anyone, but this is how I see it. So for me, it's like I'm wearing a crown.
You're wearing a crown.
Yeah, I'm wearing a crown. So
forever wearing a crown.
Yeah.
Most people would, in this certain age of like in this certain day, most people would not really like see it in the way which you just said.
Yeah.
Someone else may just think like perhaps you're wearing a hijab, perhaps you're Muslim. Have you ever been mistaken for that, or been asked if you were wearing a hijab? Yeah,
quite a lot of times, especially because I work in the public sector. My colleagues or my peers will be like, oh, how comes, you know, you always wear a headscarf? Like, even in my recent workplace, there was a point like, oh, I really want to see your hair. Like, do you even have hair? Or, you know, why do you always cover your hair? And I kind of like have to repeat myself all the time. But I don't mind. Like, I'm not ashamed to say, you know, who I am and what I believe in, because I believe that you should respect someone for what they do and what they believe in. So for me, it's like, this is who I am, and if you don't like it, well, tough, you know. But yeah, I don't mind explaining why I wear my scarf and how I feel about wearing it. And to be fair, I actually get more attention for wearing it and more respect for wearing it.
Yeah.
You would not even imagine like how many, I'll say like even guys would be like, oh, Empress, and like, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, just for wearing this, I get, you know, like Nubian
I was
Queen.
going to say Nubian Queen. I was about to say it wrong. Yeah.
So like, well,
like
why
Nubian
not?
Princess.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't mind, and yeah, like I said, I'm proud of who I am. So yeah.
We mentioned pageant show. Like when I think of the pageant show, I would actually think perhaps you'll be a sponsor, or you would be someone that, you know, be tailoring the outfits, making outfits for the girls. But no, this time you are actually taking part in the pageant show.
Yes, I'm taking part.
Why? What happened? Tell us.
Wow. I have been observant, and I've been observing a lot of our younger generation, especially younger girls, and how beauty is seen now as in, like, if you don't contour your face, you know, you're not in. Like, if your face is not on fleek, or your hair is not on fleek.
I
or
tried
your nails,
today, please. Yeah.
you look fine, darling. You look perfectly fine. Like, well, basically, it's all about the outer beauty, whether like instead of the
inner beauty.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. And we are pressured as women. We are pressured to look a certain way, like to have an hourglass figure, and, you know, be like, I don't know, 5'8", or to be light skinned, or so we're labeled in so many ways. And like going through like bad relationships and stuff like that, like meeting the wrong guy, and, you know, ending up, I don't know, depressed or stressed, or even like on the verge of suicide and stuff like that. So many things, like and to actually globally it all up, it's about mental health.
Okay.
And I wanted to touch on that, but then I didn't know how I was going to do it.
Okay.
And I said, no, I think being on a pageant show would be like a platform for me, because then I will be able to voice what I am thinking about, and to basically put my point across, as to say that beauty is not everything. You know, you need to love yourself. Like, love who you look at in the mirror with the first thing that you wake up, not when you're wearing makeup.
I wish we had like a live audience to start clapping, because that is something that needs to be spoken about.
Yeah.
It's something that young people need to understand. Serious. I did a pageant myself, and I did it for the same reasons.
Yeah.
I tackled the same issues. You said depression, you said mental health. Would you say people in our African community, we know what it is?
I think I think we kind of overlook it. We probably will know about being stressed, and, you know, what gets us to the point of becoming so stressed or depressed, and, you know, but I think it's a bit of a taboo to talk about it. Like, people hear about mental health and they think, oh, someone is just loony in their head, or someone is like, yeah, you know, someone is just like crazy, or just tick off and, you know, do crazy stuff. But it's deeper than that. It's really deep. It's like, it's a mental issue where, as in, you're going through something, but you're scared to touch on the subject, like to even talk to your parents about, your friends, or anyone, because you feel like people will look at you differently and say, oh, this person is strange or is weird. But I'm actually surprised to when I did my research, to find out that a lot of people are going through depression and mental health issues, and
Black people don't like to touch about it.
And they don't like to touch about it, because I think in our culture we're seen as, you know, life is tough, like, you know, when you drop, just get up, like, no one else is going to help you. Whereas you need people around you to actually help you. You know, we go through life thinking that, okay, it's not okay to feel bad or to feel sad, and you know, but that's not the case. The case is that we are still human. We still have blood and water going through our veins. We're still human, which means we have emotions. You know, and sometimes you just need to talk to someone about it. But coming like from an African background, I can tell that that's not really the case for most of us. Like, I'm very privileged to have parents who will sit down with me and talk to me, and, you know, and listen to how I feel.
Yeah, your dad's very supportive.
Oh, my dad
attends your shows, and, like, you know.
My dad is like my number one.
He's the G.
Yeah, he definitely is. Like, he's the king. like talking about my dad, like he's someone that he will listen to you for hours, doesn't matter how long, and he will make you feel like, you know, I understand where you're coming from and I'm here to help you. And I think people need that. Like, people need to know that they're not by themselves. Because some people are walking around on the streets and they're carrying like invisible like luggage, baggage on their backs, but because they don't have anyone, you know, to help them out and, you know,
would you say most of it is only physical? Is there like a spiritual insight in this? I
think so too, because coming from a, you know, a Christian family, God is number one. I don't know where I would be today if I didn't have God, if I didn't believe God is in existence within us and around us. Yeah. I don't know how I would, you know, deal with it. Because nowadays, I know like from the Western side, they talk about counseling and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think our consolateur, French, our counselor is, for most people, they would say it's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Me, I'll say it's Jesus Christ, Papa Simo Kimbangu. You know, he helps me to go through tough journeys, and it's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of people say, but I don't believe in God, you know. And fair enough. Like I said, I don't judge anyone. But you need to have some sort of support. If you need to go to counselling, don't leave it too late. Like,
but the counselling allows someone to have like a sit down like how me and you are having. Exactly. To break things down and to speak to someone. Yeah. And for them to like make them like go back to where it started, go back to the base of it. How can you get out of it? It's like someone's like coaching you through your depression or your stress or your anxiety. And when you're telling someone, go pray, go do that, go speak to Jesus, wait on the Holy Spirit, they're waiting and they can't hear, because God speaks to people differently. And someone can't hear, so they're thinking, how are you telling me that Jesus is my counselor when I can't hear anything? I need to speak to someone. So how did they go about that?
I totally understand what you mean. The mind, like I always say, the mind, if it's like on the wrong side, it can make you do so many bad things. Because there's so many things going through your mind, like you're thinking about so many negative things. It could also be like you're around negative, you know, around negative people, like the vibe that you're in is so negative that you don't even get the time to kind of focus, to concentrate. People call it meditation, like to meditate. Take time to just sit down by yourself and kind of figure out like what's going on with you, like what is it that you need. But then most of the time, if you're at a very rough place, the last thing is to be by yourself.
Of course.
I would still recommend like talk to someone. Of course. Like talk to someone that you trust. Most of the time, it's probably someone you don't know, because I think it's easier to open up to someone you've never seen.
That's probably why some people go to counselling.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because those people, they don't know you and you don't know them, but they're there to help you. They're not there to expose you or to hurt you or whatever. That's their job, to listen to you and to help and find solutions to things. Like, we don't see God, but God guides us to...
He can guide you to the right people. Yeah.
And those people will speak... He will speak to those people. Yeah, exactly. And that's how you get about things. But don't isolate yourself. Like, I know it's easier said than done, because it's not easy. Yeah. But if you can have, you know, at least a little bit of strength to go and find a solution, to go and speak to someone, because speaking to someone will help. I think it's like a medicine. Like, though I'm talking to you now, you know, if it's helping. Yeah, it's helping, because I get to empty out my feelings. Release all the stress, all the pain, all the, you know, frustration. And that's what it is, because carrying all that negativity,
it's not good for your health either.
It's not good.
It's not good for your health either. So you went into, or you decided to do the pageant so that you can use the platform, use it in order to motivate young women, in order to speak and touch about things such as mental health. Yeah. Did you experience mental health yourself, or can you relate to it in some shape or form?
I can definitely relate. My dad always tells me that most of the time there's two things in this world that always get us in like trouble, and it goes, it's money and love.
I thought it'd be your mouth, because my mouth gets me in trouble sometimes.
Well, and that too as well.
You say the wrong thing, you ask too many questions, your mouth can get you in trouble.
It can, but I think like the major things,
yeah,
my dad says, is money and love.
mm-hmm.
Why money? Because most people say, oh, money is all the root of all evil. It's the love of money that will get you into the root of all evil. Yeah, money's not evil, but if you love it so much
mm-hmm.
that you will do anything just to get money,
and
you
most
end up
young
in
girls are now doing anything just to get money.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then love,
mm-hmm.
being in the wrong relationship.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young and you're a bit naive and you don't know much about life and relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can end up in the wrong relationship and end up with maybe, I don't know, a narcissist or someone that is very controlling, and you don't know what love is because you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you need to love yourself before you can actually love someone else.
Very true. Because
if you don't know who you are, you don't know how to love yourself,
yeah,
anyone can come into your life and just, play with you and, leave you broken. But then you will be broken, but you won't know how to kind of repair yourself, because the fundamentals of knowing who you are and how to love yourself, you don't have.
Yeah.
You see, and that's very crucial. So I could definitely relate, to those things, especially like being in the wrong relationships.
Mm-hmm.
As women as well, we're very emotional, like when we get into relationships.
Don't know
and stuff.
why.
I mean, like, you can look at your parents, your mom, would be telling you, no, don't do this, don't do that, because she loves you and she just wants the best for you.
Yeah.
So that kind of, not tough love, but like tender love,
yeah,
of a woman,
mm-hmm.
To her partner or her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've told your heart that, no, this is the person I love,
yeah,
whether they're good or bad,
you're kind of blinded. For that moment, you're blinded.
That's it.
Your ears are deaf. You just don't want to hear.
You don't want to hear it
until you get pushed down the drain.
That's
and you're
it.
drowning and
That's
you're like, help.
And then people are like, we told you.
Yeah.
But it's true. You won't see it because it doesn't allow you to see the flaws,
mm-hmm.
of that person that you're with.
Yeah.
Because you're so entwined with the person, and
mm-hmm.
it gets very difficult when you're emotionally attached to them.
Very. Mm-hmm.
So it's hard, and I think that, even though, I guess it's a cycle of life, like, even though people will advise you, like, oh, be careful and things like that,
mm-hmm.
in the African verb goes, if a child wants to touch fire, let them touch.
Let them touch it, let them get burned.
Exactly.
Then you smooth your cuts,
exactly.
and you know that I shouldn't touch it again.
That's it.
Or some people just go back to touching things, but
that's it. But that's it. Some people do go back.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what love is. They
mm-hmm.
don't know how to be treated. They don't know how to set standards. They don't know many things about, having self-worth, like self-esteem as well. Being like, just to be in a wrong relationship will definitely hinder you to go and do what you're destined to be doing.
Making the wrong choices sometimes.
Making the wrong, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's difficult out there. It's very difficult.
But I feel those choices are there to make you or break you.
Yeah.
You will learn from them, and you can be a better person as long as you don't go back and do the same things. So you would just say, you said to motivate this young woman.
Yeah.
Do this young woman know what love is? Do this young woman know what relationship is? Do this young women, or do we, because I'm a woman myself, and I feel like our generation, we are lacking certain things. It could be either because the men of our generation, they are looking for a certain thing they feel they're not finding, and we are looking for a certain thing we feel not finding. Whereas if you place it on the table and say, let's go by the rules of our father and grandfather's generation, most would say no. Or others would say yes, because they feel, then they were not voicing themselves. Now we can voice ourselves. We can make the rules.
It's true.
And I feel like sometimes we're going about it the wrong way. You're voicing yourself too much.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, you're right. Like, our parents probably didn't have the privilege that we have today as women. I would say our mothers didn't have that, but today we do. But it's how you use that tool. Like, how do you use it? Like, you can go out and do whatever you want to do, but it depends on how you're doing it. That's gonna have the impact. You can do whatever good or bad, but the results will be in your hands.
Very true.
Like, for me, I'm doing this to kind of say, you don't have to look this way, you don't have to dress this way, you don't have to, you know, just be yourself. Like, learn how to love yourself and learn how to know how to be by yourself. Like, a lot of girls, they feel that, oh, I need to be with someone because, you know, that person is with someone and that person is with someone, and, you know, it's kind of like that's the goal nowadays. And they were blinded to other things. I'm not saying that being in a relationship is bad. It's a beautiful thing, but why are you doing it? Or who are you? Who are you doing it with? You know, what is the purpose? Like, is it just to be taking selfies and say couple, you know, relationship goals like it is nowadays, or is it really to, like, to build something, like, you know? Because we need to remember that the person you're with today is gonna hopefully be with you for the rest of your life, and be the dad or the mum of your children. But if that person is a drug dealer, or he's a liar, or he's abusive, or what kind of example is that gonna set for your children if you're gonna have children in the future with them? You know, it's like you need to look at the bigger picture, and not just today. Like, today we just see selfies and, you know, dressing the same, and, you know, but then are you happy? Is it really you?
They're happy in the social media.
Exactly, you know,
getting all the likes that they want.
Of course.
But behind closed doors.
Of course. And it's sad because that's not what life is about. We paint too many pictures nowadays, too many fake pictures. This is not who you are when you're behind your phone or behind the screen. You know, it's not who you are. And that's also leading to depression.
Very true. Because
I read this article today that if we're not highlighting the best parts of our day or of our life on social media, we'll be, like, following and seeing what other people are doing, and then we compare ourselves to what they're doing. So most girls are looking at this girl's now makeup artist, and she's going to events, and she's meeting stars, and she's doing all this, and it's like, oh, I was doing makeup, but how comes I'm not, you know, on her level yet? People have different...
where do they find the time? Some of these girls are mothers. I'm a mom. Sometimes I look at my day and my activities. I'm like, gosh, I'm exhausted. I don't have time to be in front of the camera. Like, literally, I actually have a life. I don't need the camera to tell me that I have a life.
Exactly.
So, where do they find the time?
People now are looking for validation. Like, oh my God, like, I need to take a picture. Okay, sometimes I can say I'm guilty of it. Like, I'll take 10 pictures and pick, like, one. But it's not like an everyday habit. But then people actually depend on it. Like, oh my gosh, I only have 10 likes. I need to delete the picture and take another one.
They say everything that we do, if you do too much of it, is bad. If you drink too much alcohol, is bad. If you eat too much chocolate, is bad. So having a social media platform page is fine. What are you doing with it? Are you promoting yourself? Are you a coach? Are you a speaker? Or is it just for the sake of having it to connect to people? That is not a problem. But when you do too much of everything that you do, generally it can be bad. There's people, like you said, who depend on the likes, who depend on the followers, who have friends who are not really their friends. They don't really see. People who go and commit suicide, they fall into the category of what you just said. So it's very true. Young ladies, women, I think should take onto her message, you should listen to what she's saying. It's very, 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 very important. As a woman myself, and as a mother, I have an image, or I have a responsibility, and we all have responsibilities. You'll all be mothers one day, and you need to speak to your children. You need to explain to them what is this, what is ABC, how do they get into this point, or how not to get to that point. You're not always going to get it right. You're not perfect, but remember, it's social media. It's not your real life. Don't fall into it. Depression, mental health, like she mentioned, it's real. Someone could be living with depression, sitting here smiling, but you don't know that they're going through it. We live in London, it's so busy. Everyone's walking through the streets trying to catch that red bus, the big bed bus, but you don't know what they're going through. 1 in 10 people, 1 in 20 people, 5 in 10 people you can meet in a day could be going through depression, but you don't know. You do not know. And I love the fact that she's using the beauty pageant to voice herself there as a platform, because most people say miss, and you're thinking, why they're not slim, why don't they look like this, it's a miss, why don't they look like that. If it's pageant, you could be short, you could be tall, you could be middle size, you could be curvy, you could be size 10 and size 12. It's about what you're doing with yourself and what is your campaign. This Thursday, there is an event which is touching on mental health. If I could please have the flyer next to me on the side. There's an event which is going to be in Ugandan embassy in Trafalgar Square. Just thinking off the top of my head, there it is right there. It's an event presented to you by Miss Pride of Africa, and that is the winner there, the Queen of Miss Pride of Africa, Florence. On the day, there's going to be speakers, there's going to be youth, there's going to be different panels. This event is for everyone. It's for mothers, fathers, so the family, children are welcome. Go on the GoFundMe website and just fund the event, whatever it is that you can give to go towards a charity for mental health. And also the tickets are £10. We want to see you there. I'm going to be there myself. I'm going to be co-hosting the event because I really think it's time that we really speak about such issues. It's time that we hit a nail on it. It's time that we break the silence. It's time that the African Caribbean community get to know that we have issues. We've got problems. And it's not just about what's going on in the countries and prime ministers and stuff. There is also physical, spiritual issues that we need to deal with. And mental health is one of them. Motivating young women is definitely one of them, like what she just said here. Before we go, I want to get myself a crown. May I please have a crown?
Of course you can, my darling.
May I please have a crown?
Right. Normally I use like 2 scarves.
Yeah.
So to give like a full effect like what I have today.
Yeah. Don't you feel hot in it? Like?
No, a lot of people actually ask me that question. No, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm used to it.
I know that the hijab material is quite thin. So
no, it's not.
Ladies, pay attention. This is how you tie a head.
This is how I do mine.
Yeah.
So
I love head ties, normally on a bad hair day.
I'm sure a lot of women do. So, oh, it looks amazing. The color really suits you. So then you need, and people ask me, how do you tie it then? So I just...
So normally some people go to bed with head wraps, but you've got head wraps all the time. So do you just go to bed with the same head wrap?
I kind of sleep with a satin headscarf because my hair is natural and you don't want to ruin your edges. So so this is how I do it.
How do I look?
You look amazing.
Ooh, you're my African queen.
You look amazing.
Thank you very much. So girls, this is how she does her head ties. If you want to know more about her clothing line, if you your website for the fashion line, please tell them, let them know the details.
My website is still under refurbishment, but you can find me on Instagram, KUMBI Couture, or KUMBI Couture Official. So KUMBI Couture is my personal account, and KUMBI Couture Official is my brand account. So yeah.
And when is the final day for the pageant show?
So the pageant show will be on the 20th of May. There's still lots to come. I'm working with the Boss Brothers who are sponsoring me, so it's going to be amazing. So there's quite a few things that we're working on at the moment, but you'll definitely hear about it.
How do we support? How do we vote?
There will be a link soon, like a link to help fundraise as well, because part of the pageant is we need to raise money for a charity called Beauty with a Purpose, which is a charity for disadvantaged children who probably don't have no homes, lack of education, and even mental health issues. So
UK-based, Africa-based?
It's basically worldwide, but the office is here in London. So about that as well, it will be all posted up soon. You'll hear from it, and I'll definitely let you know.
And are we expecting any shows from you, any fashion shows? You know, I'm available to wear clothes. And I've slimmed myself up lately, so
I'll be looking you up.
Are we expecting any fashion shows from you?
There is a spring summer collection coming up as well, so just stay tuned. No shows unfortunately at the moment, because I'm focusing on the pageant show first, and then I'll focus back on KUMBI Couture later.
Amazing, amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There she is, your one and only Yaya Lekki sister. You know, thank you for coming here. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
Thank you for my head tie.
You're welcome.
And please remember, Thursday, Trafalgar Square, Ugandan Embassy. I will see you there. I'm going to be co-hosting the event. It's time to break the silence of the mental health in the African community. Tune in next week, Monday. The topic is relationships. Wives, husband. They say, husband love your wife, and wife be submit to your husband. Wife submit to your husband. Do we do that? Do they do that? We'll find out next week on Monday. We're going to have Lisa, we're going to have Francos, we're going to have Maria. It's going to be a hot one. See you next week.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Boss Province TV désormais sur satellite et en RDC. Soyons connectés avec l'excellente musique congolaise. Suivons des moments de joie et d'amour avec les fêtes de mariage et d'anniversaire. Nourrissons notre foi en Dieu avec les services de prière et de culte. Suivons l'histoire du Congo et les documentaires des Congolais. Soyons connectés sur les actualités des filles et des fils du pays partout dans le monde. Découvrons des émissions de qualité, partageons notre savoir. Nous sommes à votre disposition